tell you thank you for coming and sharing on this historical day. James Herod, as you pretty much already read and you know about him, he was the one that actually was sent here to Vermilion Parish to educate the African American kids. And he and his wife, they actually started educating the kids in the church to go home and help their parents learn to read and write. And the story is totally remarkable because I didn't know anything about him 3 years ago. And it was sad that I didn't know anything about him because I went to James Herod School, said the name a zillion times, but never knew who the man was. So as we came to Abbeville and began to work a little bit more to push the envelope, we bought the old school location. It became critical that we find out who he was. And when we start pulling the information up and realized the very house that he lived in was still standing. Somebody else owned it, somebody else was living in that house, so we ended up raising the money. We bought the house from them, they sold it to us. And in turn, we've been working quietly to kind of restore some things, get it open up, so his name, his family, his history would never be buried ever again. Because it's so critical that this man, you know, out of all the men, black men especially, who came to Vermilion Parish, when you look at apples for apples, no one has had the impact on African Americans like this man. This man was so profound that even when he got ready to get married in 1899, his announcement to get married was in the Abbeville papers. And for those of us like myself who live in Abbeville, this was not a black community for black people to live in. And he was living here in the early 1900s. So profound, respected on all sides. And then in the evening hours, when he would preach at St. Mary's congregation, Anglos would go to the church to hear him preach. And you think about the handicap that this man had, born in Michigan. Parents died, went to live with an uncle in Memphis. His uncle in turn put him on a plantation in Arkansas. And while on the plantation, there was a wagon and a mule somehow mishap, and he lost one of his legs. So one of his legs was cut off. But the American Missionary Association, which is a group who had God at the heart, Christ at the heart, saw something in him and decided to send him to school. And it took him 9 years to go to Straight College in New Orleans. And it took him 9 years to get some credentials to be able to come and teach. So he got a theological certificate. Took him 9 years, came to Abbeville, met an Abbeville woman, and you know the deal. When you meet an Abbeville woman, you're going to end up staying. And so got married and started doing the work, and God truly blessed the work. And he died in 1948, and at the age of 88 years old. And he's buried somewhere on Prairie Street in that graveyard there, and we're still trying to locate exactly where he's buried so we can go and do something around that grave to highlight the significance of his investment and sacrifices in Vermilion Parish. I definitely want to thank the mayor for coming, the city council, all the clergy that's here. Thank y'all so very much. Vermilion Parish Chamber and all of those who work intricately, the principal of James Herod Elementary. Just thank y'all so much for coming. This is a special day. This, out of all the things that I am a part of in Abbeville, this is the most significant thing that I could ever do as a contribution back to this city. So I'm grateful. So thank y'all. Ms. Lauren?
Okay. It is time that we as a community celebrate all of the cultures here and all of the history and all of our past. And like you, I went to Herod. I actually attended TAG there when I was in elementary school, and I didn't understand the profound impact that this gentleman had on our community. And so thank you for finding such a unique and very, in my opinion, very good way of presenting his history in a way that is profound for our community and that we can all gain a better understanding and acceptance and inclusion. So thank you for that, and I'm going to let them each speak real quick if you want to say anything.
Well, I graduated from Herod from elementary to 9th grade, from 9th grade to 12th grade. And I've walked in front of this place for years. There was a doctor's office on the corner, Dr. Abar's office. And my mom would clean it for Dr. Abar, and she'd take me by the hand and she'd walk me past this building for years, and I never knew it was Mr. Harrod's house until maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, well, yes, well, I remember Harrod Elementary, of course, and learned a lot of history and how this came. This man here kept me busy for maybe a whole month and a half. Terry, I need you to do this. I need you to find where Mr. Harrod's house is. But I'm happy that you put forth every effort in doing what you did, you and your organization. And I agree with the mayor that it's time now in this great city of Abbeville that we each learn each other's culture, whether we're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. We need to know who everybody is, because everybody is somebody and everybody is important. Okay? Thank you all so much.
Superintendent Byler.
Spot. I'm just honored to be here today, and thanks for the invitation, and so proud that we're doing this, because I, like you, so many of you, I've heard Harrod all my life, but what's the significance behind it? And I do know this, now that I've sat here, I have a James Harrod Elementary license plate from the first ever school that sits in the office at the school board office, but I think I found a better place for it. And so I think we're getting ready to add a relic. So my next visit here, Ms. Lauren, I know where we're bringing that. So, no, this is just wonderful, and I've already talked to Ms. Lasagna. We're deciding which is going to be the first group of Harrod Elementary students to come on a field trip.
Oh, great.
And we're going to do whatever we can to keep supporting this. And thank Pastor August and Nehemiah not only for this and the opportunities we're giving our kids. We're partnering up in education this weekend on college tours, the school board and Nehemiah. So we're so excited that we're continuing to build, and thank you for doing this.
And I want to recognize Police Jar Ronald Darby right here in front of us. Thank you for being here. And also our representative for this area, Representative Jonathan Gudo. So thank you both for being here today as part of the ceremony. Back to you.
Back to me. Let's go. You ready?
I'm ready whenever y'all ready.
Come on.
Yeah!